The Temple Below the Tide. A mythic tale of friendship, treasure, and the secrets the ocean keeps. Chapter 1. The Map That Shouldn't Exist. It was in the attic of Marlon Gray's old sea shack that Kai found the map. The chest had been locked. No key, just salt-rusted hinges and the remains of a red wax seal shaped like an eye. Inside, wrapped in oilcloth and sealed with thread, was a piece of vellum that shimmered faintly under sunlight. The map depicted a strange cluster of reefs in the Lurian Sea. At the center, a spiral-shaped island labeled Nauara, with a sunken structure in the center marked Vault of Flame. Kai's hands trembled. He'd seen sketches of this place in sailors' folklore, but they were always dismissed as drunken fantasy. He ran to the docks. Rowan was there, as always, tying up his weather-beaten fishing skiff. He raised an eyebrow as Kai waved the map wildly. "I know that look," Rowan said. "Either you found buried treasure, or you want to die looking for it." "Maybe both," Kai grinned. Rowan sighed, but he smiled too. "Tell me everything." Chapter 2. Legends from the Deep. Over cups of black tea and warm biscuits, Kai told Rowan what he'd pieced together over the years. Nauara was said to be a holy island of the ancient Maruenth people, guardians of the sea's second sun. A temple had once stood atop it, but during the tearing tide, an apocalyptic flood, it sank beneath the rock and vanished. Survivors claimed the temple guarded a heart of gold and the diamond eye of Vule, a gem that could illuminate even the darkest depths. The last recorded mention of the island was over 300 years ago. "And now this map shows up," Rowan said, eyes narrowing. "Just like that?" "I think," Kai said slowly, "someone wanted it to be found now." Rowan chuckled grimly. "We'll need more than fishing nets for this one." They started preparing at dawn. Chapter 3. Into the Mists. They set sail aboard the Duskwind, a 24-foot sloop Kai had restored himself. Supplies were packed: flares, climbing gear, rope, dried meat, water, a weather lantern, Kai's journals, and a hunting knife Rowan called the Thorn. As they left Wren Harbor behind, fog rolled in, thicker than any they'd ever seen. For 3 days, their compass spun madly. Stars disappeared. The sea whispered strange sounds at night, like singing just below the surface. On the 4th night, Rowan saw it, a jagged silhouette rising from the fog, haloed in starlight. "Nauara," he whispered. The island welcomed them with utter silence. Chapter 4. The Spiral Island. They landed at midnight on a beach of black sand. Tall stone pillars loomed ahead, each etched with weather-worn symbols of suns, serpents, and ships. "I don't like this," Rowan muttered, but Kai was already sketching. In the center of the island, hidden by vines, was a narrow entrance that led down into darkness. Carvings above it read, "Below the tide, we carry fire. Beneath the stone, the heart still burns." They descended into a world that had not seen daylight in centuries. Chapter 5. The Temple Awakens. The temple wasn't carved into the mountain, it was grown with it. Walls breathed, vines moved. The air shimmered like it remembered sunlight. At the base of the entry stair, they found the first chamber, a domed room with a pool of still water at the center. When Kai touched it, The surface rippled with images, flashes of ships burning, voices chanting, a hand holding a golden gem pulsing with flame. Then a voice echoed through the room, not from around them, but from inside their bones. Two enter, one guides, one carries. Both must burn, or none shall leave. Rowan looked at Kai. Still think this was a good idea? Chapter 6. The Hall of Faces. They passed into a corridor lined with statues, hundreds of them, each face distinct, lifelike, and ancient. Some wore fear, others anger. A few smiled, too widely. Rowan paused by one that looked eerily familiar. This one looks like Keel, Kai whispered. Keel had been a childhood friend. He vanished during a storm at sea when they were 12. But the statue bore his face. Exactly. They ran. The corridor stretched, shifted behind them. Whispers filled the air. The tide remembers. The tide remembers. The tide remembers. Chapter 7. The Trial of the Fire Veins. In the next chamber, veins of molten gold snaked through the stone. Bridges of obsidian crossed the lava in irregular patterns. Runes lit up as they stepped on them. Kai paused. It's a puzzle. Symbols beneath their feet glowed brighter or dimmer depending on their steps. One wrong move, and the bridges shook violently. Rowan solved it by singing a sea shanty with 7 verses, matching the 7 rune sequences in order. Seriously? Kai said. You guessed that? Rowan shrugged. Old songs always mean something. Chapter 8. The Vault of Flame. At last, the doors opened. A grand chamber spiraled downward, walls coated in gold, inlaid with sapphires and aquamarine. At the center, on a floating dais, sat the heart of Vuel, a pulsing, living diamond the size of a skull. As they stepped in, the dais began to rise, and hundreds of golden constructs emerged from the walls, humanoid shapes made of hinged metal and molten cores. A deep rumble shook the chamber. You have seen. You cannot unsee. Burn or be forgotten. Kai stepped forward. Wait. He held up the map. Someone left this for us. Someone wanted us to take the heart. The constructs paused, then bowed. Kai took the gem. The chamber glowed brighter, and then the ceiling began to collapse. Chapter 9. The River of Light. Through the shaking vault, a tunnel split open, revealing a glowing underground river, rushing like a tide made of light and gold. Beside it, an ancient skiff shimmered into view. It looked too pristine, untouched by time. Rowan grabbed Kai's arm. We ride the light. They leapt in. The river surged forward, taking them through chambers they'd never seen. Vast gardens filled with ghostly plants, statues of weeping gods, murals of the stars colliding with the sea. Then, from the depths below, a shadow rose. Something massive, serpent-like, glowing with pale blue eyes. The Guardian, Kai gasped. It didn't attack, but it followed, watching them all the way to the whirlpool exit. Chapter 10. Return. They shot through the vortex and emerged miles off Wren Harbor's coast under a silver dawn. The dusk wind was waiting, its sail gently flapping as if it had never left. The gems still pulsed in Kai's pack. Their pockets held small satchels of gold and diamond. Not enough to be rich, but enough to be free. They never spoke of what they left behind. The map turned to ash one night, by itself. But sometimes, when they walked the shoreline, they could still feel something out there. Watching, waiting,